Oh, hey, I have somebody. Nice to have you here. So far you're the only person to arrive. I have been picking out some beads for the first project I'm gonna do today. I'm not putting the necklace together quite yet. Right now I was just like gathering a whole bunch of different beads so that when I go to start making the necklace, the bracelet, it'll be easy for me to just get into building it. Last week it had been mentioned that there's a market for, jewelry based off of queer identities and LGBTQ flags and all that sort of thing. And I definitely love that idea, and it's something that I've already been planning on doing. So I thought today what I would do is make, at least start out by making one bracelet based off of a pride flag. I hope you can't hear. There's like this weird random tapping going on in my house right now. So yeah, the first one I'm going to do today is the non-binary flag, because I am non-binary. So I have my pride pin here that I wear. I took it off of my lanyard to use for this thing. And I'm going to start making a bracelet based off of the non-binary flag. So I'm going to move this down here to the jewelry board, hopefully to make it a little bit easier to see what I'm doing. And I've already got a whole bunch of beads not patterned out. I've already got a bunch of beads laid out for me to start playing around and working with. I have my findings all set. I'm going to use gold for the yellow. I realized I don't have a lot of white beads. So that's going to be hard to make a pride flag without white beads. But, I'm going to get started on it. So let's see here. Like I said, whoa, I'm going to start by dropping this bead. Like I said in last week's video, one thing that I like to do is to just pattern out, starting with the big beads and then patterning out something else to go along with that. So I'm going to start with these nice purple beads I've got here, and then I've got these really cool black diamond beads that you string a new bead in the middle. So I'm definitely going to use those probably in here, in the middle here. And then I want a bead that can go inside of the diamond. I might use these crystal ones, but I don't think they'll fit. They are too big. So I'll probably just use some of these purple ones. I've got quite a few of these. Hey, Sunday! Nice to see you! I kind of started a little bit late today because it took a while for anybody to happen to be here. Right now I'm making pride-themed bracelets, since we had talked about it last week, how that's a kind of an in-demand thing. And I'm starting with, to catch you up, I'm starting with making a bracelet themed after the non-binary flag, because I am non-binary. I go by she, her, and he, him. So right now I'm going to be building out that bracelet, a bracelet for non-binary folks. These types of streams are oddly satisfying. I'm glad you like them. I'm going to be messing around with this camera a lot to talk to you guys while I'm also doing jewelry. I'm glad you like these types of streams. I really am liking making them. It's fun so far, and it's keeping me, it's like kind of holding me accountable, making me actually do, make jewelry and do art and that sort of thing. It's because I have it set on the schedule that I'm supposed to do it, and that people are going to come and hang out with me while I do. So that's just really nice and fun. But yeah, right now I'm patterning my bracelet, and I'm going to do a non-binary bracelet. So that's really fun and exciting for me. Let's go back down here to the board. I've already got a couple of beads here lined up, and I'm going to be building them out. I already grabbed a whole bunch of different colored beads that go with this theme, so they all look nice together. They're all pretty, and I can just sort of fit them as they work. These bead caps are too big for this project, and these ones are probably going to be too small for this project. Yeah, I decided to go with like a bit more of a yellowish gold for the metal that I'm doing today, instead of like a warm gold, to make it kind of match the flag a little bit better. But as a result, I don't have as many many materials that I can use with it, because that's the thing about all the different kinds of golds, is that they don't always match. I like your headband, but can't quite tell what the bow is supposed to be. The bow is a Heartless from Kingdom Hearts. One of my friends gave this to me a long time ago, and I just really like it. He gave me a whole bunch of different Kingdom Hearts bows, and this one's probably my favorite. So I thought today I would put it on. I don't usually have a reason to dress up all nice. I'm kind of an introvert. I don't really go anywhere or do anything. So I figured doing live streams is as good a reason as any to start branching out and wearing things. Do you plan to finish the bracelet today? Yep, I'm planning on making this bracelet just nice and easy, right here where it is. And just like last week, I'm going to be making the bracelet, because it's actually pretty easy to finish a bracelet if you know how to do it. So right now I'm just trying to get out a nice pattern and make sure things look right. I really love the idea of like jewelry that is based on, you know, queer identities and stuff, because not only is it just a really nice way to have your bracelet sorry, I cannot speak today. My stammer is in full force. Not only is it just a really nice way to show your pride, but also they can be really subtle and easy, not to disguise, but they can just be really easy to wear if you're around people that you don't necessarily want to know that you're queer and all that, because you don't always, sometimes you're around people that you know aren't going to be nice to you about it. So it's just a good idea, a really nice thing to be able to wear something that you relate to, something that you identify with, but that also is a little more subtle and a little more safe, depending on where you're going to go, who you're going to talk to. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about today. It's kind of what I'm going for when I'm making this bracelet, is just something nice and pretty and subtle, but that also just tells a story about who you are and lets you be proud of who you are and of what you've done and how far you've come and all those sorts of real fun things. And I'm going to try to make this one a little bit smaller than I usually do, because I want to wear it. So I need to make it so that it's small enough for it to actually fit me. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge for me, is making a small bracelet. But I'm thinking this is actually looking pretty nice. I think I'm not really sure about the proportions. I think that looks pretty okay. Yeah, I think that looks good. Alright, I'm going to start building the bracelet. So, first thing I do is I cut the wire. I'm using the Beadalon 49 strand stringing wire, which is important to use instead of like, it's important to use this instead of like the stiff kind of wire wrapping wire that you would use to make more complex pieces of things. When you use stringing wire, it just gives your bracelets that nice, like, fluid feel that it just wraps around you and it's not stiff, it doesn't trap you. So just like last week, the first thing I'm going to be doing is just closing up one end of this so that I can put the beads on, which is always difficult, but hopefully it'll be easier this time because I'm actually using bigger crimp beads and crimp covers than I normally do, so that should really help. So I'm just putting the wire through the wire guard right now. This makes it, not only does it kind of disguise the ugly color of just like the plain gray wire, but it also just protects the wire so that it doesn't get chewed up by the edges of the beads and that sort of thing. I've got these really pretty little really pretty toggles today. They're you know, a yellowish kind of gold, and it's going to be really hard to tell. I don't know if I'll be able to tell. How do you see it? It doesn't want to focus on it. It's got this little heart. I don't know why my camera won't automatically just do whatever I want it to do without any input. Like, you'd think that we could be able to have that happen. But yeah, since it's a queer bracelet, I just really like that it has this little heart on the toggle clasps. Even though non-binary isn't necessarily like a romantic or attraction-based identity, it's still just so much about the queer experience is just all about love. I really like that. So I am taking my crimp cover bead and I'm trying to bead this up nice and flush. And for some reason that just destroyed this bead. That was not supposed to happen. Okay, this is not a good start. A crimp tool is supposed to make it easy to use crimp beads, but instead sometimes it just makes it hard. Sometimes it just doesn't even make it usable. It's weird. So now I have to try to break this off so that I can start over with a new one. There we go. Throw that away. I pulled several crimp beads out today because, like I said, this is really the best way for me to do this, but at the same time, I'm just so bad at it still. I'm not any good at it yet. And so I end up destroying more beads than I actually use. But they're cheap. Crimp beads are just cheap little things that you hide away to make sure that your wires don't break. So it's no big loss. I almost just forgot to put the toggle clasp on. I've done that before where I'm so focused on making sure that I do the crimp bead correctly that I actually forget to put the clasp on, and then I have to undo it. Even if I did it perfectly, I have to start over because I missed some really big crucial step. Oh, my phone is going off. So let's try this again, and let's hopefully make it so that the crimp bead actually does what it's supposed to do, instead of just breaking on me randomly. Like, what the hell was that about? There we go, that one worked a little better. So now I squash it in. And this bracelet has been officially crimped. So I just give it a couple tugs to make sure that it's working correctly. And it is. So now I'm going to use the crimp covers, and you guys know do you like the color scheme of non-binary flag itself? I personally find it a little odd. So yeah, here's the thing. I feel like the color of yellow that they picked to go with the flag, it just the hue is not quite the pleasant hue that I would have picked. But when you correct it a little bit and just get a different kind of yellow, just a little bit less on the green side of yellow and a little bit more on the orange side of yellow, I do find it to be a very pretty color scheme with the purple and the white and black. So yeah, once you fix the yellow, it's actually pretty nice, I find. Forgot to ask last time, did you learn to make bracelets from YouTube tutorials or somehow else? So it was a bit of a mix. When I was a little kid, I used to make bracelets using, like the kind of like cheaper plastic beads that, you get in bead making kits for younger kids, craft kits and that sort of thing. But then when I started trying to do it more professionally last year, I was really struggling just trying to figure out how to do it right. And so yes, I did watch a lot of YouTube tutorials to try to figure out how I'm supposed to do this correctly and figure out the best ways to do things. And that really helped. I say that really helped as if I'm not sitting here struggling to do the most basic task. So yeah. Right now I'm just kind of trying to close up this crimp cover. Normally the crimp covers that I use are so small that it's difficult to put them on the actual bracelet, but now I'm running into a different problem. This one that I'm using now is so big that I'm having a hard time closing it. It's gotta be real finicky work. There's always gotta be something wrong going on, right? Otherwise, is it even actually creating? So yeah, YouTube tutorials really did help me a lot. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube tutorials for like art and things too. Are you done learning, or do you want to keep progressing in this activity? I am of the opinion that nobody will ever be done learning anything. It doesn't matter if you are a master in something. There is still always there's always something that you'll be able to learn. So I know already that I am very much in need of more learning. This is not something that you can just read a book about and then know how to do and be perfect for the rest of your life. You have to keep learning, and you have to keep practicing and keep trying things. So yeah, I definitely think that I need to keep learning. Sorry. Especially if I have so much trouble doing very simple things like putting a crimp bead onto the end of my bracelet. If you have a lot of hard time doing beginner level things, that's one sign that you're still learning. I hope that's not a plaster on your right arm. No, this is just a compression brace. Since a lot of the things that I do, a lot of the activities that I do involve heavy use of my right hand, I need to wear a brace in order to sort of just like keep it healthy and make sure that I don't injure myself doing things. But yeah, I am always writing, drawing, or fighting with jewelry to try to make it do what I want. So since a lot of that requires the use of my right hand, I am prone to getting it like cramping up and getting pain in it. So I just wear this to mitigate some of that pain and make it a little bit easier on myself. And that way I don't have to worry about damaging my hands and then not being able to do any of the things that I love doing. And that on my career, if I stopped being able to write, I don't know what I would do to earn money at this point. I would probably have to go back to fast food which I'm really hoping that I never have to go back to fast food. Fast food is a terrible, terrible job. This is not doing what I want it to do. Also, is the next stream going to be about drawing? Yes. So, like I said, on the last two streams, my plan is to make it so that I stream art every Wednesday and jewelry every Monday. So, I am not changing that plan at any point right now. I'm pretty happy in it. I think that's good. That's going to have to be good enough. I'm pretty happy in doing what I'm doing now, which is jewelry on Monday and then art on Wednesday. So when are you launching the Ko-Fi or Ko-Fi subscriber thing? Like I said before, I'm going to be launching that in February. So I'm still going to be doing these live streams for anybody who wants to be a part of them until February, at which point it's going to be $5 a month. I dropped that. It's going to be $5 a month to be able to access all of the live streams. I used to work in a sushi shop, and it drained and burnt me out for ages. Yes, it would just, working in fast food is just terrible. I used to work in all sorts of different fast food places. I worked at what was basically just a fancy concession stand in a water park when I was younger, and that sucked. And then I worked in a fast food joint in the Mall of America in Minnesota, and that sucked, even though I actually really liked the mall itself, and I kind of liked Minnesota. But I didn't like the job. And then I worked at a burger joint in the city I live in now, which I'm not going to name. And then I worked in a hospital kitchen, which was way better than fast food. Working in a hospital kitchen is so much better than working in a fast food restaurant. But even then, I found it more fulfilling than fast food, because when you're cooking food for, patients and making sure that they get all of the nutrients they need, and you're also making food for, the cafeteria, so that the doctors and the nurses, they have somewhere to eat. And when people are there visiting family in the hospital, they care about their family, and they're there because of unhappy reasons. So working in a hospital kitchen was way more fulfilling than working at like a burger joint. But at the same time, I'm not really necessarily, I like cooking, but cooking doesn't give my life meaning. So being able to do things that are actually like creative, like making jewelry or art or writing, is just so much better, so much more fun for me. I want to talk about jewelry, but I'm a dunce, so what you're doing right now looks like magic to me. You worked in so many, thank you, that's really nice. You worked in so many catering places, no wonder your cooking looks so gorgeous. So actually with my cooking, I usually do a lot of shortcuts and just cheap things, like, instead of making my own pasta, I'll just get like a box of packaged pasta that you just cook up and everything. The secret to making your cooking look good is actually to focus on the pictures and the way you're taking the picture more than the food itself. Yeah, you want to make your food look nice and pretty and have a good color balance and all that sort of thing. And you want to plate it nice, but all that. But the important thing when you're trying to make your food look good is to get the camera angle right, and to get the lighting and all that sort of thing. When I was growing up, my mom was a amateur photographer, and I used to help her out like as a bit of an assistant. So figuring out how to do camera really well, that really helped a lot in figuring out how to make your cooking look good. You worked in, oh yeah, I already read that one. I find that a lot of the things that I do really did just like come about because of all of the different things that I've done in my life. Like helping my mom with photography and helping her with, you know, setting up the lighting and everything, and camera quality and learning how to pose a picture and everything. I think that definitely translated into my art when I grew up and started drawing. And I also think that it helped me with like making bracelets and all that sort of thing, because a lot of this is really just about finding out what looks nice and then making it look nice. So I think this is a really beautiful bracelet, actually. I'm really happy with this. Now let's hope I don't mess it up when I'm starting to finish it. So I have the crimp bead, the wire guard. I have so much extra wire left over. I do not know why I cut so much wire. But that'll just hopefully make it easier for me to actually get this bracelet finished correctly. Artistry runs in the family, I see. Yeah, I would say so. I definitely credit my family for a lot of the art that I am able to do. You know, I said last time my dad was a writer. He never made a career out of it, but he likes writing, and he likes books and stories and all that sort of thing. So growing up, he was always, you know, reading us bedtime stories and that sort of thing. So that helped me with my, you know, writing, just having that experience of having a storyteller basically as a dad. So that helped a lot. And, you know, my mom, like I said, my mom was into artistry. I mean, was into photography. And one of my sisters is a performer. She does, like, local theater. That's really cool. Another one of my sisters knits. We're all artists in one medium or another. And it really helped just because, you know, growing up, a lot of people, you know, they grow up and they say things like, oh, my family never believed in me. They always told me, oh, you need to get a real job. You're never going to make it as an artist. Unfortunately, I never had that. Fortunately for me, my family was always very supportive about artistic expression. And trying to... I'm distracted. I'm trying to focus on this. They've always been about, you know, artistic expression and being able to... I didn't do this correctly. I said I wasn't going to do it correctly. I think I can salvage it, though. I think it's okay. It's just not going to be perfect. But yeah, growing up in a family like that really helped. Alright. Now to fight with another crimp cover to try to get this done correctly. Am I distracting you with making you talk? No, not really. If anything, I feel like it's just, for the most part, I actually really enjoy having people to chat with and talk to while I'm making art. Usually I just like sit around and listen to music and like sing along. Glad your family was supportive of your interests. Yeah, I am too. They're really cool people most of the time. But yeah, so I don't really find it all that distracting to talk while I'm working. It's only in the occasional rare cases. And this thing would have given me trouble even if I wasn't talking at all, because I'm still a beginner at this, so I'm not very good at it yet. So that's what is making me kind of mess up, not the fact that I'm talking. I do have to try to focus on this for 1 second, though. I graduated from a culinary 4-year-long college in 2024. and it completely burnt me out physically. I hate cooking and eating. It never ends. Doesn't help that I'm of the few people in my family who can cook something edible. Yeah, that really sucks. A lot of people place such a huge importance on schooling and college and learning things that way. And I get it. I understand that there are some things that are you just should be taught as opposed to just trying to figure it out yourself. I'm not trying to slam schooling or anything like that. But I do feel like sometimes people put such a huge importance on it, whereas it's not necessarily always the best thing or the right thing for a person. So many times I hear stories about people who they went to school to learn how to do something they loved, and by the time they got out of school, they hated it, and they never wanted to do it again because the way that the schooling was run was just so intensive and difficult and impossible to keep up with that it just ruined the thing that they loved. And I definitely think that there's a big problem with that. Like, if you're going to be spending all of that money to go and learn how to do something that you love to do, it just really, it's like, it just sucks that it ends up hurting them and being something that they don't like anymore because of how badly the college was run and how badly they were treated. That's my way of making myself feel better for being completely uneducated. Can I ask something about your hair? Is it permanent dye or do you have to dye it regularly? This is a wig. I'm going the Hannah Montana route. So this is actually not dyed hair. It is a synthetic wig that I'm wearing over my real hair. I actually have multiple different wigs, just because I really like them. I like to be able to wear pink hair when I want to, without having to worry about being, quote unquote, unprofessional, or having people look at me differently if I want to be in a more serious light sometimes. So it gives me a lot of freedom. I can have wild, cool, crazy hair when I want it, and then I can have normal hair when the situation demands. So yeah, I'm going to be wearing a few different hair colors throughout my time on YouTube, but the pink one is definitely my favorite, so I'm probably going to be wearing that more often than the others. So yeah, I like that question. Okay. Nope, that's not quite right yet. I was about to say this is good enough, but then no, it's not. I'm being a little bit of a perfectionist about this. Alright, actually I do think that's going to have to be good enough. So now I'm going to cut off the excess wire. And then I'm going to try this on and see if it fits, if I made it small enough for me. So throw away that extra little bit. And it is a little bit too big for me, but it's okay. Now I have this non-binary bracelet. Alright, let's see. Yep, that's me. When I came to the college, I was like Ruby from Volume 1, all excited to learn and grow, but by the end, I'm Ruby from Volume 9, exhausted, angry, and unpassionate. Nice, that's good. Yeah, that sucks, is what I meant to say. That's a wig. Top 10 anime betrayals of all time. JK. Thank you. But yeah, I think it turned out really nice. I particularly like these. I have these diamond-shaped beads that you can put other beads inside of them. So I put some purple ones in there. Yeah, I'm doing weird things with my arms to try to get it on the camera, but I really like that. I made it too big for me. Look. I can just slide it right off my hand. Why is it so hard for me to make something that I can wear that actually fits me? But I think I'll definitely still try to wear it anyway. I really like it. It turned out very nice. And then one day I will sell it. But that day is not this day. I'm going to keep that for a while. Alright. That was quick. So nice. Thank you. Let's see. I'm not sure what I should make next. I think I have time for... Well, it's a little bit later than I thought it was. Maybe not enough time for another necklace. For another bracelet. Maybe... I don't think I have any more earring hooks right now because my other ones are still on order. They haven't been delivered yet. So I can't make any earrings. Maybe I'll make a necklace. Maybe I'll make a non-binary necklace to go with the non-binary thing the bracelet. This gold is a little bit more of a warm tone though, not necessarily the colder tone. So the gold chain might not work. Maybe I'll still use it, I just won't... Or maybe I'll do silver. Since I don't have very many white beads, maybe I'll do silver beads. A silver chain to emulate white. That works, that would work. So yeah, I'll make a necklace next. I'm probably going to use most of these same beads that I already used before. But I need to get some more out. You could measure your wrist with a centimeter to pick the right size for you before making jewelry. That's fair. I could do that. But at the same time, part of the problem isn't just that I don't know my measurements. A part of the problem is that when you're making the jewelry, it's difficult to be sure exactly how long it's going to be with each individual bead, because the beads themselves are what makes the jewelry so big. I'm trying to find the exact right beautiful purple bead. I think that was good. That's a nice purple. I don't know if this would be fine. I think that works. So I have these really big yellow beads that have just like this white detailing on it. They're too big for bracelets. I bought them without knowing what size they were, which was a mistake. You should always find out what size your beads are. So it was too big for a bracelet, but I think it might make for a really good like pendant for a necklace. So I'm going to start just trying to build an idea here for a pendant. I want to make sure that I get... Oh, you know what? This would actually be a fun thing to try to do in the correct color scheme. So the yellow and the white, and then the purple, and then black. That might be just a little bit fun to try to do. No, you know what? I don't think that the white beads that I have are not good for it. They're too small. I think that might work. That might be nice. Sorry, I'm getting a little quiet now. I'm just trying to pattern out a good a good necklace here. Are you making this one for yourself? Oh, you could pull the bracelet up your arm so it could fit. So the thing about that is that with bracelets, it's not necessarily very easy to just like pull it up your arm, because if I pull it up my arm so that it'll fit and then I let go, it just goes right back down like that. So it's not really necessarily something that you can easily just pull up your arm. But that's okay, because like I said last week, I like to have my bracelets kind of hang down a little bit. I just think it looks elegant that way. Like, it just looks pretty to have it down there, as opposed to if it was all the way flush up against my wrist like this. This looks nice too. It looks very nice. But at the same time, I just prefer to have a little bit of hang there, and have it kind of draping a little bit. But it's still a little bit too big. Just a touch. Just a touch too big. Are you making this one for yourself or for someone else? So like I said last time, my plan is to just stockpile as much of this stuff as possible, and then later on I'm going to sell it. So right now, I'm not selling it. right now I'm kind of just making it to have it, and sometimes I'll wear the ones that I really like, but for the most part I usually just kind of keep it to myself. I mean, just keep it stockpiled for the future. So maybe one day I'll sell these, and in the meantime I'll wear them when I want to. I'm kind of liking this one. I think this is a nice look so far. But at the same time, it's just not quite right. I feel like there's just something kind of missing. I'm not sure what it is. I don't think I need a yellow bead here. I think this actually looks nice. Okay, so since it's a pendant, I'm going to be using one of these head pins, which means I have to try to straighten it out, even though I do not have the proper tool. I'm about to buy the proper tool, but sorry, gotta go for now. Have fun. Well, it was nice having you here. I enjoyed talking. Have fun with whatever it is you gotta be doing. I think as soon as you leave, I will be alone in the chat for a while, but that is fine. I will just talk to myself. I'll talk to myself as I finish up doing this last pendant real quick. Just this non-binary necklace. And that way people who watch the video back later can still see me finish the project. But yeah, I'm going to order, I finally got a tiny little bit of spending money, so I'm going to order the tool that I need to do this correctly. But in the meantime, before I get that mailed to me, I have to do this the difficult and not correct way in order to just make sure that it gets done at all. So yeah, it's just a whole lot of little adjustments, little tiny little things, making it so that the bends in the wire are not there anymore. This is going to be so much easier when I finally get my hands on that special tool. I kind of think this is good enough for now. I don't know. I say that and then I second guess myself. I'm not very good at always making sure that I have. I'm not very good at not being a perfectionist. It's very difficult to be a perfectionist without the right tools. You're always fighting against something. You're always struggling to makeshift a way to make things perfect, which doesn't really actually exist. So I've got that about as straight as I can have it for right now, which is funny because it's not for a straight person. Bad jokes are bad. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish this up nice and tidy. Oh, you know what? This would be a good place for some beading caps. Since I'm doing silver this time, I'll be able to use some silver caps instead of the white gold that I've been trying to use earlier. Got these nice flowery things. That'd probably be really pretty. And then I'll do a couple of these smaller ones over another bead. I think that would just be very pretty. So I'm going to put that back away, and I'm going to start stringing. Well, this isn't really necessarily stringing if it's not a string thing. So I start with the beading cap for the bottom. I'll slide that on there, put this nice big yellow bead up on top of it. Put another beading cap on top of that. And then I've got this nice purple bead. And we'll put this right here on top of this purple bead probably, just to give it a nice little bit of a sparkle there. And then we got white, a little purple one, just to give it a bit of a shape, and then this black one. I think that looks like a pretty awesome necklace. So now what you do is you take the tip, bend it, and then you start building the wire around it by taking this and turning it around the needle nose pliers like so. And you can kind of move your needle nose pliers so that you have the ability to wrap it around. Once you have the loop the way you want it, you can connect it to something. I need to find a bail. Since I didn't plan this one ahead, I'm kind of I'm not doing it very streamlined. I'm kind of just winging this one. Do I have a bail in here? I don't really have very many bails, which is not a good thing when you're starting to make a lot of necklaces. Yeah, I don't have a bail in here. So now my process involves going on a hunt for a bail. I'm pretty sure that I had one left over from something, and I just gotta find it, figure out where I put it. Oh, it's possibly in here. It would make sense for it to be in here. A whole bunch of just little odds and ends that I've got. Nope, I'm not finding a bail. And now I'm spilling all my stuff all over the place. This is what happens when you start going off script and doing things that you hadn't planned on ahead of time. Yeah, I think that I maybe already used my last bail, so I don't really have one that I can use, unless I just salvage one from this pile of mess here. Nope. Oh, you know what? I did use my last bail already because I made something and sent it to my sister. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm not going to finish this necklace right away. But once I get some bails and can actually finish it, it's just going to be a nice little pendant. It looks kind of green right now, but it's supposed to be yellow. And it's supposed to be a subtle little thing for a non-binary flag necklace. So that's just going to be nice once I actually get the right parts to finish it. In the meantime, right now I'm alone in the chat right now, so I'm just going to sign off and call this good for today. I had a lot of fun. Wow, right in time, my voice is starting to go out. I had a lot of fun hanging out with a lot of you people. And of course I had fun making jewelry. The non-binary bracelet turned out really good. I really liked it. So it was nice hanging out with you guys, and goodbye.